Hi, we're the Huge Movie Fanatics, and we're here to give you a review of Friday the 13th.
1980. We gotta say 1980.
Yeah, I suppose we should.
And actually,
this.
although it does sound like Harry Manfredini has, of course, said it's. It doesn't sound like ma.
No, yeah.
But whatever. I love that. Is beyond classic. I gotta say, first of all, beyond classic. Continue.
So Friday the 13th. There's a lot in this movie that I like, but there's just as much in the movie that I'm not crazy about. I will say, scenery is great. Like it has a great atmosphere too. Basically it's essentially it's Psycho in the Woods.
You've said that.
Yeah, it's Psycho in the Woods. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I love Psycho. Psycho, great movie. So Psycho in the Woods, that kind of works. I like, the only difference is, instead of, spoilers I guess, instead of having Norman, spoilers for two franchises, Norman be the crazy one and the mom being the dead one.
It's backwards.
It's backwards. It's the mom being the crazy one who's living out Jason, who's the dead. And you know, the last 10 minutes of this movie are gold. I love that. The final fight, it's sort of like Alien. Like the final fight, once it gets between the girl and the mom comes in, Betsy Palmer kicks ass, and delivers her great monologue about Jason, today was his birthday, whole thing. That was great. Excellent. And I liked that about it. So there are things in the movie that I do like. The thing that I don't like, and what Sean Cunningham, the filmmaker, has said, was that it was essentially just, they wanted to capitalize on Halloween, the success of Halloween. Well, we can make a horror slasher just like that, with no identity or emotion or anything like that. We can do it just the same way. Instead of suburbia, we'll take it into the woods. And that's what they did, and you know, for doing that, they delivered it well. But my problem is, like, I don't necessarily, I've seen Halloween. Give me something new, give me something fresh. Why is it?
What it was new in is, at the time, the seeing the kills.
Yeah, the kills were insanely graphic.
That was something new, unlike Halloween, where we didn't see anything.
Everything was implied, but I'm more of a fan of the implied.
Yeah, but you said give me something new, well, they did.
Yeah, I guess they and that's what Friday the 13th ended up ultimately becoming, was, which we'll get into, was being all about the kill. And the movie does have Kevin Bacon in it, so if, like, you're a fan of Kevin Bacon, as I am, it's every once in a while nice to pull out Friday the 13th and just be like, look at him! He went on to be in amazing movies like Tremors and X-Men and stuff. Like, I mean, he's done a number of movies. There's no real Kevin Bacon movie I'm not a fan of. I like him. So, so it's fun to go back and see him in this movie and in Animal House, where he's getting paddled. So yeah, it's nice, and he gets the coolest kill in the movie. I will say that, where he's in the bed and then. They have one they mimicked in like 6 other of the Friday the 13th movies.
With different weapons.
Different weapons, yeah. But the kills were unique and they were interesting. I think almost everybody's had that fear that somebody's under their bed or something like that, and they utilize that. Yeah, they utilize that, and the chances are the people who are going to see this, as I did, were children who do go to like summer camp and stuff like that. So this would be kind of freaky to them. So I mean, the movie does have a lot of competency, even for, this is a term you've been using a lot, like, the movie is very competently made, but I'm not a huge fan of it for its flaws, and its flaws are basically that it's just sort of a knockoff of what I'd seen before. This was the first of the major knockoffs, and this is probably the most successful knockoff of Halloween. Yeah. Hands down, without question. Some might argue that it's more successful than Halloween. As this gentleman would. So I'm going to give the movie, I'm going to give it a 2.5, because it does ride the line of quality and inequality all the way through. But the last 10 minutes are so good, I'm going to give it the quality edge. I'm going to say this is a 2.5. This is the average kind of like horror movie. This is sort of a movie that you sort of compare other ones against. And so there you go, 2.5.
Friday the 13th, 1980 is one of my favorite movies. I don't really have a top 5, top 10, whatever. It's one of my favorite movies. I could probably see it, especially this time of year. I'd watch it all the time, but this time of year, you know, when the stuff is like the stuff in the movie, I watch it like a madman. I don't know what you'd call the music. I don't know if you call it a score. I don't know what you call it.
Well, it's a score. It's just...
Yeah, I guess it is. The music in this movie, they just released, which is sold out, but you can get it on eBay, just January 13th, I think it was. They just released the Harry Manfredini CD set 1 through 6, all of his movies, the soundtracks. I got that. You have to get it. The music in this movie is so perfect. I mean, I just love it. It perfectly complements, I mean, all the scenes that it goes with. I mean, I just love it. I love the music. The location, amazing. This movie perfectly. It's like if you want to, like, let's say during the winter, you got the summer, you know, blues or the winter blues or whatever, and you want to experience, you know, the country or a weekend. You know, it's not really a weekend; it's a night or whatever at the camp location. Put in this movie. It brings you to the country. It brings you to that location and the desolateness nature, desolate nature of that location, which is what's the camp called?
Camp Crystal Lake.
No, I mean where they filmed it. Camp Novi Skosko or something like that. I so much want to go there. It's my all-time #1 film movie location that I want to go to. I hear that they frown on people going there. I thought maybe if I gave them $1,000 or some money that they maybe let me go and take a look. It's my all-time #1 movie location that I want to see. Blairstown, New Jersey. Also, you got which no one can keep you from, which is the diner and just some of that main roadage where she's walking at the beginning of the movie with Annie, I think her name is. Absolutely perfect, atmospheric. And what I love about the movie is it's so minimalistic. It's almost like if Woody Allen made a slasher movie, like in terms of how it's shot and cut.
Yeah.
If Woody Allen made a slasher movie, and he had no sense of, I mean, there's really no humor in it like that, but I mean, that's what it look. I mean, I love how it's so minimalistic, and the cinematography is exactly what I like, which is real world, not movie cinematography. And the thing that I didn't notice because it wasn't until 2009 where that new uncut DVD and Blu-ray, it's the same transfer, but the Blu-ray is, oh my God, amazing, by the way. But it wasn't until then where it was really bright enough to really see what the cinematographer did in the dark scenes, which was, he did this real cool thing in dark rooms where he put this, like, I don't know, this light on the top, which was, there's a term for it, I don't know what it is, where it's not direct light, it's muted light or whatever.
It's the halo light.
Yeah, whatever. There's a term for it, which is a great, perfect light, because it's hard to do. I mean, hard to do dark scene. Most movies now, if it's dark, it's just got like light shine on the, it's really strong light either on the top of their head and shoulders or coming in from the side in a dark scene. But this is like dark scenes that there's one shot where they're in the bathroom and Adrienne King as Alice is walking towards the camera while, and she's like, I think we should call someone. And it's really dark in all the other transfers, but the 2009 one, both the DVD and the Blu-ray, as she's coming close, you can see her, she lights up perfectly. You can barely see her and everything else.
Yeah, one of my biggest problems with the movie is the darkness. Like, I can't stand when you can't see things just because that's not scary to me.
Have you seen...
It's because I can't see.
Have you seen...
I haven't seen the new transfer. Perhaps that's what I need to watch.
Because that's how the old one was to me. I thought, like, because all the old transfers, even the DVD, which came out in '99.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
Yeah, right.
Most recently, anyway.
Is very dark compared to this. This is, like I say, you can't really comment on the cinematography until you see, and this is the brightest version. The dark stuff, it's like when the camera tracks up and over to the cut wire. Like, you can barely see it in the
I mean, the movie is just black in the ending.
That was the transfer.
Perhaps I should see this.
I would recommend.
I will give it a shot.
There's so much to say. I just love it, and for me it takes Halloween and completely and totally improves upon Halloween. Halloween, I mean, it's got John Carpenter's cigarette smoke floating through the frame in one shot. I mean, it's great, but for me, it's ironic because you take a movie that wants to capitalize on Halloween's success, and I think it improves upon everything that Halloween did. And I think it's really cool, the whole notion of like, because now, I mean, most people when they think of Friday the 13th think of a hockey mask and a rotted corpse. A lot of people don't know, unless they've seen, you know, Scream, that it's, you know, Jason's mom, and a lot of young people have a problem with that.
Yeah, which still, when I see this, when I think of Friday the 13th, I think of this movie, and I think of
so when you hear the title, you think of the first two?
I don't think of, like, when I hear Jason, I think of that, or I think of Red Power Ranger. But when I hear Friday the 13th, this is the movie that I think of. I don't think of any of the.
That's very cool.
Sequels. So yeah.
The reason I think, because people are like, how could, you know, a middle-aged woman, a lot of young people say that she's 60. I don't think she's 60. She's more like, I don't know, mid-40s.
I guess, like in the time frame, she'd have to have been like close to 60 if her kid died 20 years ago.
I haven't figured all that out.
She would have been, I guess she'd be closer to 40.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, a lot of young people now assume that Betsy Palmer was like 65 in the movie.
She looks old. That's why. I mean, she looks like grandma.
Well, okay. But anyway, I think people would argue, well, how can she kill all these people? And I guess my response to that, well, it's all. She doesn't have. Well, as you can see, the one person she did have an actual fight with, she lost to. Yeah. The thing is, the reason she did it is the element of like surprise.
Yeah, and like just the element of behind.
Yeah, right, everybody. Exactly. So if someone says, "Well, there's no way that could happen."
She's a backstabber.
Yeah, right. I mean, if she's under your bed and stabs you with an arrow through your neck, I mean, you can't.
I mean, Jason's really no different though too. I mean, sometimes he gets in and he like fight, and he like I'm thinking of the 8th one, but like most of the time he just comes up behind the person and he like cuts him down.
Right.
That's essentially what she did.
Yeah.
The one thing I really liked in the movie that we need to mention is that whole thing comes from the Killer Mommy when she's yelling that at the end.
Killer Mommy, killer.
That's with some of the creepiest shots in the movie are the close up on her face and you see her kind of mangly teeth, which
especially
I don't think were special effects.
Especially in my definition.
Yeah, and she's like, "Killer Mommy, killer." Mommy. Like that stuff is really kind of cool and creepy.
You know what's funny about this movie is Betsy Palmer, I guess, was kind of a star in the old days or something like that. These are the only movies I've seen her in. But what's so funny is she only did this. You know what? You know why she did this movie? She needed like a new car, and I think they paid her $1,000 a night, and I think it was 10 nights.
Yeah.
And when I watch the movie, I'm like, why did they need 10 nights? But whatever.
I guess the fight at the end, like when you're hiring a 40-year-old to do a fight that isn't trained for fighting like Bruce Willis or something, it's like.
I just think that's so funny. Like when you see her now in the movie, you're going, "Killer Mom." She's just thinking of like new car.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, I can just get it now.
I can get it. You know,
that's why she's gleeful.
Yeah, when I'm done with this movie, I can go get the new car. But like with so many movies that I absolutely love, there's so much to say. I'm not necessarily going to be able to remember it all on camera. But location. Oh, one thing I love. If you let's say you take Friday the 13th, 1980, and compare it with Friday the 13th, 2009. Okay. One thing that is a huge, drastic difference is the characters and the portrayal of the characters in the movie. I love how they're portrayed in the original movie. They're people. They're real people. You know. I mean, they're cute girls. They're not like gorgeous girls. You know. It's just normal. And what I loved about that era is it's before all this shit where you got like models and all these, you know, women with implants and all this stuff.
Yeah, they had that problem really hardcore in that most recent one.
Yeah, tell me about it. So the characters, what I love, I mean, so many things I love about the original, but the characters and the fact that the movie, and I love how as the day's fading away and Jack and Marcy are like just doing whatever, and there's this great shot, this zoom shot. You know, it pulls back, you know, and you see it, especially on Blu-ray, you see the lake, and it's like, you know, just glass, you know, and poor Nettie's like, you know, sees the two lovebirds, and he's like, "Oh damn," and he goes away and gets killed.
The movie, because you're bringing it up, it reminds me of Cabin in the Woods. They did so many like little visual homages to the movie. like the first person that they come across when they're driving up to the cabin in the woods is an old man who sort of warns them, don't go that way.
Oh, good.
And it's just like, that's such a clear homage to Friday the 13th, and you get like so happy about that. And then there's like the shots of the people like right by the lake, and the lake is just perfectly clear, and they jump in and they sort of disrupt the water, and like little visual touches. It's like, you know, these people are fans of like the early horror, that kind of like early 80s horror that kind of mattered and stuff like that, and seeing those touches made me want to go back and rewatch like Friday the 13th and Hellraiser and any of the other movies that they did visual touches to. So yeah, like you mentioned that like diner thing.
Yeah, just that great location. Well, the movie is all about, for me, just locations. Every single location in the movie is that like country, you know, small town diner. I just love. I eat it up. I love it. That's because I like those locations in real life. But what's interesting about that is part of the reason I like those locations in real life is because I saw this movie when I was young. So it's like I like it because of that, and that's because I like it. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I saw this movie when I was like young, and I remember when I was like 14 rewatching it, because when I was a kid and getting into Friday the 13th, it was all about, I wanted to see Jason. Yeah. But then I didn't really like the first one when I was a kid, and then I saw it like when I was 14, and that's when I really was like, I was older, and I was really starting to dig the location and the subtlety and just the ambiance that they captured, and especially like the rain and all that. It's just perfectly captured in Friday the 13th, 1980 for me. 4-star, I don't know if I said it. 4 stars.
And 2.5 from me.
Sounds great. Well, we'll see you at Camp Crystal Lake, and if you're done.
Yep, I'm done.
I'm done. Thanks for watching.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Friday the 13th. You may only see it once, but that will be enough. Friday the 13th. Rated R.
Now playing at Man Westwood, Man's Hollywood, and a theater near you.